Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of C.T.G. Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Prince.
I'm Cannon.
And I'm B.
And it feels like it's been a while since we recorded one of these things.
Feels like 98.
Like, I don't know if we still know how to do it.
Like, damn.
But we got ya.
We here. We pushing through. Alright? We up all night. Almost 5 minutes a night working on this shit that we talking about, man.
Almost.
But yeah, thanks for tuning into another episode. We back, man. And how you guys been? I guess drop a comment, man. Let us know how you been. Let us know, like, are you mad that these episodes aren't coming as fast as you want them to come?
Shit, I'm mad.
Tell us in the comments.
Definitely tell us, because it's all about communication between us and y'all, the fans. So tell us what we need to improve on, and slowly and gradually we'll become a more, I won't say professional, but we become more unique in the content we're trying to give you. We have a vision. It just take a while to get there. You know what? I'll probably go first. I want to get this out the way.
That's gangster.
So, yeah, Sony and Nintendo decided to have a keynote on the same day. And let's just say, not bad. For Sony, that is. Nintendo, it showed promise. And I'll get to that after I talk about the Sony event. So, starting off with Sony, it's called the State of Play event. And they showcase some games, and they showcase new technology, which isn't really new. It's I guess, more updated version. Of their PS headset, the VR headset. So, to start things off, Sony showed, if you want to look it up, I'm not going to talk about all the games they showed because they showed quite a few random games. But you could, on your free time, audience, you can look up Sony State of Play that happened in September, and it's going to show you all the games they're talking about for 2023, even up to 2024. Yeah, there's, they gotta grease your head up early. Yeah, so by the time that game come out, you done creamed your pants like 10 times. Every trailer.
But the thing about that is now you can't fumble it when you
Cyberpunk, man. Come on, bro.
Okay, you feel me?
Cyberpunk 10 years on them and still gave us bullshit.
They made their money's worth though. You gotta grease the heads up first. But starting off, they showed Tekken 8. They showed the game for their PS VR headset. They showed two games, Star Wars and Demio. I spelled it wrong in my notes, but it's pronounced Demio, and it's kind of like a weird tabletop Dungeons and Dragons. No offense to people who play tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, but it's a VR version of Dungeons and Dragons, which seems pretty cool, but they could have did more in my opinion. You could check it out on your free time.
That's a huge leap from the tabletop game, you feel me? So, I ain't really ever had to do nothing. They just made some shit 3D. Is it, is it a 3D version? Like, when you put on the headset, a table pops up with the board?
It's kind of like, alright, the best way I can describe it is like a cartoon version of reality. So it's like like if you was playing some video game like Dungeons and like say you was playing Zelda, that old school type of game, the old school Zelda. Okay. How it look.
Yeah, like the overhead camera and shit.
Yeah, so it's overhead over tabletop, and they roll the dice. You're right there on you roll the dice, and you can do basic attacks and stuff. But it's based on how you roll the dice, and it is a card factor system. That's basically the
That's
gist
not
of it.
hilarious to anybody else?
That sounds kind of trash. I mean, if I'm understanding you right, if I'm picturing it right, that
It's the
sounds
same-
kind of trash.
It's the same thing. Just put on a helmet.
I mean,
What?
It
sound-
has little animations and stuff like you got the little fireball that shows and all that. So it's not just your
Okay.
imagination. It's
All
little.
right.
It's a little bit more. Imagination HD. That's what it is.
Okay. All right.
We have Like a Dragon, which was basically a Yakuza samurai game. Shout out to the Yakuza fans. With this keynote, I will say Sony is seen more geared towards their Asian fans because it was more so a lot of Asian video games, which I'm cool with. Shit, I play Asian games.
and Sony's Japanese, right?
Yeah. So they had to cater to the Asian fans with this keynote. They did show more of the Harry Potter, but I ain't gonna talk about it because they still didn't really give us much information since the last time.
I know a lot of people are gonna be on that. Like, I don't even have to know if a game is gonna be good just because it's Harry Potter.
I mean, shit, the premise is good. You create a character and you get to be in the Harry Potter universe, and they not limiting
Right.
you to be good. You can be good or bad.
Is it like an open world?
Yeah,
Ooh,
you can
okay.
explore the school and stuff and the different areas.
Okay.
But they really didn't give us much information since the last time they did the event. So when we get closer to the release date, I'll let y'all know about that. PlayStation also did talk about they doing a new, I guess it's called PlayStation Stars, and it's kind of like an upgrade to the achievements list. You know them shits we don't pay attention to.
I seen that article. I thought it was like another subscription.
Nah, it's basically like an upgrade to the achievements. So instead of just having like a little trophy, they give you different things you could look at. They rolling it out in Asia first, and then it's moving over to North America and around the world. But it's basically they revamping how the trophies and all that stuff look, and they giving out, I guess, little Easter eggs for certain games. If you do certain things within a certain time period and all that, kind of like for Sony exclusive games. Oh, the Sony event. The Sony Stars event. So it's basically an upgrade to the achievement list thing.
I'll let you live.
Upgrade to the trophies and shit like that.
Next we have Sin Duality. I ain't really gonna get into it. It's kind of like another mech game.
Like Metaverse?
Mech. Like,
Oh, Mecha. Okay.
are they? Yeah, I guess it would be mecha.
The big suits.
Big suits and all that, fighting female protagonists. PS5 exclusive games that's coming out. We have Stellar Blade, which
Excited for that one. Excited.
you heard about it?
I've seen it. I've seen if this is the one that I'm remembering, I know they have the trailer out for it already. Right?
What's it
Yeah,
about?
it was originally entitled Project Eve, but Sony just now revealed that it's gonna be called Stellar Blade. And the way I described it, if you could slide to my next notes. Okay. The way I described Stellar Blade was a gameplay. It looks and reminds me of a Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and God of War mix. It's a female Asian protagonist, kind of like I think she's a cyborg, and she's basically on let's say she's trying to basically save humanity, which has been taken over by some aliens, and this is somewhere down the future. They kind of, with this storyline, I'm pretty sure they trying to go with the biblical story of Adam and Eve.
Like she's Eve. Hey yo.
That's the name of her character, Eve.
Get ready for them letters, my boy.
Oh yeah, she's basically Eve, going off the Adam and Eve story. She's basically finding some aliens. Now these aliens do not match how the environment and game look to me. These look like some aliens from Dead Space. Now the environment and how the graphics look reminds me of, I'll say, Final Fantasy. Now picture Dead Space aliens in Final Fantasy.
Well,
trust me, these aliens do not belong in the game. And I think it does have blood in it. Yeah, it definitely has blood in it. Like, tell me you won't see that shit on Dead Space.
Yeah, right. Dead ass. That really even looks like the nigga's helmet.
But yeah, it's basically, you some badass Asian bitch. No offense, badass Asian female. Who got some dope ass technology and use her powers to basically save humanity. One thing about the combat though is that you can't just spam attack. That won't work. This is not the game where you can just keep pressing combos and stuff. You actually have to block, and then you actually have to parry.
It's kind of ass.
Yeah, but they can't make it too easy. Like, God of War, once you get all those weapons upgraded, it gets pretty easy.
Yeah, no, I just started playing Sifu, and it's the same way. Like, you have to block, or you're gonna catch that L.
But if you do learn how to do that, you you start to do more damage and see better combos. But that's just, it basically makes you have to actually learn how to play the game instead of button mash. Next, we have from the Sony event, Rise of a Ronin. This is the second samurai game. I don't know. I think I skipped the first samurai game. The first samurai game was Like a Dragon, Ishin. I think that's what it's called. And it's basically it's a Yakuza game, but it's set in rural Japan when they samurais and all that. And it looks pretty dope. But my thing is, I feel like they all rushing to do a samurai game since Ghost of Tsushima. And now I feel like the market's getting polluted with all these samurai games. Because they also making a game in 2024 that's coming out, which is called Rise of the Ronin, which is a samurai game. And don't get me wrong, the graphics look amazing. And it's a PS5 exclusive. PSVR 2. So each eye socket is going to contain 2000 by 24 pure eye resolution, up to 120 hertz refresh rate, and it's going to have OLED panels. On the outside of the headset, it's going to have 4 cameras that track your environment. So they kind of trying to protect you so you don't bump into tables and shit while you're in this virtual reality.
Yeah, because we all seen the videos of grandpa punching the TV. Like, oh shit.
And you can also adjust in the headset if you want to move like the environment further or close it more. You can do that too from the headset. They have a pass-through button, so basically you switch from the virtual reality and then you can see what's going on outside. I don't believe it comes with the headphones, but you're gonna need some headphones to go with them so you can hear the spatial audio. The controllers that come with the VR headset have the same haptic feedback as the PS5 controllers, but the triggers and the whole basic control of it, you get different feedbacks from the triggers throughout VR controller. It might cost $500. So that's basically like a whole nother system. It might cost $500.
Yeah.
Because I guess the technology on the headset and the controllers.
That's dedicated right there. You really want that shit.
So they're making a Horizon game where you could be in the Horizon universe. They're making a Resident Evil Village export of VR. So it'd be first person and you'd be playing as the main protagonist. They have Afterlife, which is a horror VR game. Among Us VR, they had canceled it for last VR headset, but quote unquote they supposed to bring it back.
That's gonna be a hit.
They have Blacktop Hoops, where you could be playing basketball with other people in a virtual reality, dunking on niggas and shooting fire. Like you can see the whole animation of it.
Wow.
You have Black Trail. You have Exorcist of Legion, which is a horror game. It might be co-op. I believe it's co-op, so it's a co-op horror game. They didn't really give much information on it, but it showed a little teaser trailer. Galaxy Kart, which caught my interest because it kind of reminded me of Mario Kart, but it's a VR. So you can get the little power-ups and you could use the
That's gonna be lit.
power-ups and stuff, and you basically go-karting. You have Ghostbusters, which is gonna be co-op. Ghost of Tabor. Lo-Fi. Fifi.
Get you, yeah. Alright.
Medieval Dynasty, which is supposed to be, I'll say, the premise is kind of like, what's that game? Skyrim, but VR type. It's not gonna be made by Bethesda, but they're going for that kind of medieval video game, but it's a VR.
Yeah, smell on.
Basically, you know, trying to capture them. What's that show? Game of Thrones fans. Last two we have No Man's Sky and Requisition VR. They didn't really show. Well, they showed gameplay of No Man's Sky. They didn't really show too much of Requisition VR.
Yeah.
Moving on from the Sony event, we have the Nintendo Direct. So, like I said before, Nintendo and Sony had the event on the same day, but Nintendo it could have been a little better. For Nintendo, for you Nintendo fans out there, they're bringing some Nintendo 64 games to the Switch. So you get Mario Party 1 through 3. You're getting Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. They might include Sega Genesis games, which when the fuck did Nintendo get rights to Sega Genesis? They also revealed they're making a GoldenEye game for the Switch. But this GoldenEye game is just the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye with online play.
GoldenEye, isn't that James Bond?
Yeah, 007.
Alright.
I mean, they could have did a whole remaster.
That's what I was about to say. I don't think there's no way they're coming out with the exact same game. There's no way.
Yeah, they definitely, you know that. If you could go back to
You
how
want the nostalgia.
if you could go back to Nintendo 64, you plug in that 007 game, you get that little 8-bit graphics, 16-bit graphics.
I don't.
So basically, they fucking up 007. Nintendo and Xbox. Sony, where you at?
Yeah, they're just milking that motherfucker. They're not worried about nothing else.
Cause low key,
They know it's gonna sell.
I wanted GoldenEye to come to the Switch, but they just basically brought the 64 version and put it on the Switch. I'm like, all these fucking remasters y'all make. Mario got 20 games on the Switch. 20 fucking games on the Switch. They can't make one 007 game. They can't make one 007 GoldenEye game. Remastered. I get it. Politics. But that's it for your gaming news. The video game word of the day, I'm gonna take it easy, is pause. Pause is when you say something gay.
I'm gonna let you know before I pull out. Pause.
Pause. But in video game words, it is the option to temporarily suspend play. So basically, you could go do something like, you know, your parents tell you, go clean your room while you're playing the game. You could pause it. Everything stops. You can do what you gotta do. And when you gotta come back, you can press the pause button again and come back.
Nowadays, that pause don't even work because we
It's
online.
online. Yep.
It works. You can stay still.
Yeah,
It's still
you
pause
sitting
everything.
there. Yeah, that motherfucker shooting you up.
And on to some tech news. We all talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody I know has it yet. Nobody got it on the first day. It's the iPhone 14. They finally dropped the iPhone 14. And it's funny because I feel like people care more about the iPhone 14 when it's not out. Once it comes out, they're like, all right, where the 15 at?
No, they working on the 15. They gotta finish selling the 14 first.
The 15 is already in stock.
Yeah, they on it. I feel like they're already like 2 phones ahead for real. I didn't even check the numbers. I don't know what's the comparison between iPhone 14 sales and iPhone 13 sales, but I do know the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 14, they're not really that different. Like, there's only a few differences, but like physically, it looks exactly the same. Camera is still a 12 megapixel camera. We still have the same amount of nits, 1200. Still the aluminum design. Battery life still the same. Regular 128, 256, 512. The storage options. They got some new colors, I guess. That's a change. There's a slight camera update, but nothing serious. Like I watch mad YouTube videos on like camera comparisons between the 13 and the 14, and it's not that many changes. Starts at $799. I think that's the same price as the 13, if I'm not mistaken. But no real changes. Like, you still have the notch at the top. Same chip as the 13 as well, the A15 Bionic. The same chip, and it's a whole new phone. Is crazy to me because I believe this is the first year they did that, where the chip didn't upgrade throughout all new versions of the phone. Like,
they're plateauing.
all the major changes just went to the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. You feel me? Because in the regular 14, you still have the notch. You only see the pill that everybody's been talking about, or the dynamic island, which is just.
So wait,
it's
from the
just a
iPhone
cringe to
13
say
to
that.
14, they still got the same features?
Yes.
And what's the one key difference?
The camera upgrades.
Okay.
And the camera upgrades are minor though. They're not even. It's not even
48 megapixels.
See the 14
the Pro.
Pro. The 14 Pro has a 48 megapixel camera, but the iPhone 14 still has a 12 megapixel, and that's the biggest jump in camera updates on the iPhone for a while. They've been at 12 megapixel for a minute.
Son, back in the days, phones was struggling to get 4 shit.
Yeah, I remember 4
megapixels.
megapixels. Yep.
MySpace pictures.
That's the flip phone days. 4 megapixels.
That ass, yeah.
I got a razor.
Like crazy shit. But this one actually got the new chip, which is the A16 Bionic.
Blood.
The Pro camera system, which is like this is a huge ass camera update on the iPhone for a while. Like I keep saying that because they even have this mode called action mode where like you can run with the phone in your hand, and if you're looking at like the actual video you took of you running, it does not even look like you're running. The image stabilization is crazy on that shit. Apparently it needs a lot of light though to work properly.
That makes sense.
It makes sense, but mad inconvenient.
I mean, they gotta, for updating these phones, they gotta get it more towards increasing the physical features of the phone now, which is technically the camera.
Right.
Or
I mean, the camera is not really too physical for real. Well, you're right. Besides like the 48 megapixel.
yeah, and then adding the little what's that other thing that the cameras need? The aperture.
Yeah. And the aperture is 1.7 on it. But the other cameras are still 12 megapixel. The ultra wide and the telephoto, whatever. Another big difference would be the material. Well, no, the material, it's not a really huge difference. It's still stainless steel, but I guess they use surgical grade to describe the stainless steel.
So it doesn't carry bacteria as much?
Who knows? Who knows, man? The always on display is a feature only on the iPhone 14 Pro. Oh, actually, let me take that back. Yeah. Always on display is only on the iPhone 14 Pro, which is a feature that Android has had forever now. For the past, like, if we were talking about Samsung, I don't know, the past 4 phones.
So always on display. Break that down again.
Yeah.
Always on display is basically, it slows down the frame rates to 1 frame per second. So it doesn't consume that much battery. It dims the light really low, but it's still on. Maybe if you want to like glance at your phone and find out the time without hitting any buttons, or you want to glance at it without using a certain amount of power out of your phone, because like if you continuously just keep looking at it just to see the time, you don't really need to see any other information. Why do you need all that light or those frames per second? So it's the same technology that's in the newer Apple Watches. I believe they got their always on display probably like the 6 or the 7.
I think it was the 6.
It was a
or
6,
the 5th.
right? Yeah, no, it was a 5th. It was a 5th. Now, really, the only thing I could see always on display for. No, I can't think of anything. Why does it always have to be on? I guess they're just trying to be more like a regular watch, which makes sense for the watch, but for the phone, like, what's the point of that?
So you can keep seeing the last video you looked at. Low quality.
No, you can't see nothing. You can't see nothing on that shit.
I don't know.
But the dynamic island is also, like, I want to elaborate on that a little bit. It's a dope ass feature. You feel me? So far, what I've seen on reviews is that it's like a little interface. It's like another notification center, I guess. I mean that in the sense, like, you go to your notification center to like quickly find something or quickly change the song or like basically do all these quick shortcut features, which you can now just reach up to the pill or dynamic island. I'm just gonna call it a pill because dynamic island, like, that's way too many syllables for some shit I could describe in one syllable. But the pill, you basically, like, if you're playing music, you could tap up there and it'll take you to the shortcuts for, you know, skip, play, turn the volume down. Or you could tap and actually take you directly to the music app. Same thing with maps. Same thing with, like, whatever application has, like, a widget on your lock screen, basically. So, like, if you're getting an Uber, like, you can see how far the Uber is right in that little pill shape. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of, like, features I'm missing. I've never actually had the hands-on use with the pill, but from what I've seen, it looks like it's pretty convenient and probably the best thing about the phone. The biggest difference that's actually useful. You know what I mean? Like, always on display. What are we doing with that?
Watching that last porn video.
This guy. He lives in a world where you can watch videos on your lock screen.
Hey,
Must be nice.
We need to copyright that.
But the iPhone 14 Pro is gonna start at 1,000. So that's pretty hefty.
Whoa.
Throw the stack on the table.
It's $9.99.
Not, hey yo, alright.
Yeah, the tax.
It's way less than $1,000. Stop it.
That's 100 pennies.
You forgetting the tax on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they know what they're
$22.
doing. They know what they're doing. They're just trying to
Well, not everywhere.
make it
have
sound
tax.
good.
For an iPhone, I'm pretty sure they taxing on that shit.
But yeah, and so like this upgrade only makes sense if you're like 2 phones behind. Then you would see a major difference. But if you're coming from the 13 or even the 12, I'd say you got to get the Pro.
Well, you do gotta get the Pro or
That's
the Pro
really-
Max.
Right, that's really the only options.
So wait, what's the what they add to the Pro Max?
No, this one was only the difference between the 14 Pro and because the Pro Max is just bigger, right? But it still has all these same features as the Pro.
That shit's starting at what, 1,100?
That I don't know the price.
Most likely.
Fucking
Maybe like
Apple.
1,200.
I will say this though, at least they made that little ugly ass pill useful.
That is it ugly though? I mean, the
Hell
way
yeah,
they
that-
finessed it, it's like when you meet an ugly chick and she got a nice personality. You like,
They
yo.
could have just got rid of this shit. Flat screen. Flat screen.
But what would they didn't want to look like their competitors, man?
The
They don't-
competitors. Why they gotta have a shape up?
Yo. Yo.
Bruh, I don't know, man. I'm not the designer at Apple, but I get what they trying to do. Like, I see where they're going with their. It's a marketing gimmick at the same time as a useful feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see an iPhone, you know that's an iPhone.
Yeah.
You see an Android, you're like, which one is it?
Yeah.
So I get it. All right. So since we're talking about the iPhone 14, let's talk about the LiDAR sensor. So the word of whenever is the LiDAR sensor, and LiDAR is
An acronym.
basically LiDAR is a method for determining ranges by targeting an object or surface with a laser and measuring the time for the reflected light to return to the receiver. Laser identification, detecting, and ranging. So put it in layman terms, basically.
Eyes.
Yo.
That's basically what they are.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Depth perception, all that good shit. But yeah. So if you're using your phone now, it can get a better idea of like this. It has a better spatial awareness, basically. So this is how we're able to like measure things with the phone. You have a measure app on your phone, which you probably completely forgot about because nobody ever uses. But it's pretty accurate.
That's why I never used it because I thought it wasn't.
No, it's definitely accurate. Lasers are already accurate by themselves. Plus Apple, team up.
You just gotta get the right measurements.
Like if you're shopping online and they say like test it out in your home, they're using the LiDAR sensor so you can actually put a 3D version of whatever you're buying.
Yeah,
Say
that
a
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it in your crib. Like this is all using the LiDAR technology on your phone, which I guess some people use it, but I don't know too many people that do. Amazon has it, so from that standpoint, I remember I tried to buy a gaming chair and then I had it in my house. I'm like, oh, this looks nice.
Amazon,
Never
Best
bought
Buy. Any VR headset has it because it has to
Right.
detect the environment for you,
But
and
there you
then the
go.
military use it for when they gotta blow people up.
Hey yo. But that is your tech news for the day. We're just gonna keep it short, talking about the iPhone. And yeah, now to the car news.
So starting in car news, there's an article from Car and Driver that Toyota is recalling 84,000 Tundra pickup trucks, Lexus NX250s and NX350s. It's for the 2022 model year, and they said that the problem is because the electronic parking brake, it might not engage correctly, or it might just disengage, and then it could possibly just have the car, just roll from a park. But at the same time, I don't really think that really makes too much sense at the same time, because they're all going to be automatics most. Well, yeah, they're all, especially in the U.S., they're definitely all automatics. So I mean, once you have the parking brake, the actual park, like you put it in the park, you should be good. I mean, unless like you got mad stuff in the car and stuff like that, or something that's weighing the car down and you're on a hill, then yeah,
I get what you mean.
Then you definitely would want to put on the parking brake, the handbrake or whatever. But other than that, I mean, I don't really see that being like a big thing. I mean, yes, definitely get that taken care of, and Toyota will be reaching out to the owners by late October for them to get it taken care of. And again, it's a recall, so no cost to you. Just make sure that you could go to your local dealership and they could take care of that for you. I mean, I don't see. I'm not sure exactly how their system is set up, like how their braking system is set up. But I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, like those two pieces are nowhere near the same, are they?
What you mean?
Like putting it in the park, putting it in park, and then hitting.
Oh,
like
those
are not connected.
Because when you put it in park, there's like a spike or whatever that goes in between the gears that hold you. That's your park. There's some shit that goes in the gears so it doesn't move. That's your park. Your handbrake, okay, like in a manual, yes. Oh, yes. You definitely want to get that taken care of in a manual, because there isn't a park gear in a manual. That's why you have the handbrake or the electronic brake, whatever. That's why you have the parking brake, I should say. But I mean, I don't see that being a big deal. But again, definitely get that taken care of.
Yeah, unless niggas is out here parking and drive and shit.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
But then they won't even let you take your key out the car.
Well, remember, these are push button starts now.
Oh shit. Oh, okay, you're right.
So they're push button starts. So I mean, but I mean, unless it's smart enough to know that when you're in, if you still have it in drive, if you still have it in drive, and you just like, like just open the door and try to take it off type shit, that hopefully it doesn't shut off to make you like put it in park. But I don't think so though. But that would be just stupid. On the next article, the Departments of Energy, Transportation, Housing and Urban Development, and the Environmental Protection Agency are working together to implement President Biden's goal that was set to have a net zero emissions economy wide by 2050.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that and real talk, that shit doesn't make sense. That shit doesn't make sense, because when you are trying to push so many electric vehicles, the materials in the fucking battery, how do you think you get the materials in the battery?
And people haven't caught on to that yet, bro. They have not caught on to that. I don't know why. They're like, fuck how it's made. It's helping.
I mean, you could see one way. Yes, I get it. But there's another way to see also. And people don't see that.
Because, like, people don't think past, like, they don't think past what's in front of them. It's hard to explain. It's like when somebody comes to me and like tries to get a photo. You feel me? Like they don't worry about how it's made. They don't worry about what efforts put into making it. They just worried about.
Nigga, push that button.
That ass.
No cap though.
And you better not fuck me up. But that, yeah, whatever. So they said that they're gonna give more details in the next 90 days, and it's to push again more EVs on the roads, and they're trying to break down some highways to make it more like car and EV and bike and bus friendly. So I
Wait,
mean,
what you mean? What?
like for some of them in the article it was saying that in Denver and Detroit that they're adding more highways. They're not adding more highways, and they're trying to rethink that space to make it more accessible for buses and bikes. They're gonna make traffic stupid, but I guess that's to make other people be like, okay, you know what, hey, I'll take a bike. I'll ride my bike. I'll take the bus or whatever type shit.
Have people riding bikes stuck in
Where
bike traffic.
is this at again?
What?
Denver.
And Detroit, they're thinking of doing stuff like that. They're coming out with plans to do that shit.
Shit. Detroit, I don't think niggas riding bikes in Detroit.
Didn't California pass a bill to stop up gas?
Yeah.
And then the East Coast.
Yeah, everybody technically has to.
Yeah, well, cause I mean, they're not just gonna make one car just for one state type shit. So they're just gonna make everything. Well, I shouldn't say that, because they do that. Car makers do that, but on a smaller scale, on a way smaller scale.
They need to bring back that investment.
Damn, if they do that in Cali. Right, and that's gonna.
But California be catching on fire too.
I feel like California is a big portion of our pollution. I feel like because all them niggas is hella niggas over there, and
Yeah.
they always in traffic. They always.
Disclaimer.
Right? They gonna edit the shit like this. Hella niggas over there. What do you mean?
But real talk, I don't think you're completely wrong though. I mean,
Yeah, because they it's a lot of traffic over there, which means like there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people just sitting in idle cars that's just emitting CO2.
You right.
So I just assume.
China.
I mean, in the States. I don't mean like out of the country.
Yo, is traffic in Canada since everybody's so nice?
I'm pretty sure there's traffic in Canada.
Yeah, my boy just went to Canada. He said there is, but it's just really quiet out there. Like the train tracks, and they don't make no noise. Like they have rubber tires.
bro.
Like it's so silent in the train station. And he came back here. He was disgusted. He was like, you walking through the block, nobody's screaming, nobody's yelling. You don't hear no loud nothing. I was like,
Shit.
must be nice.
Toronto, I mean, Canada definitely got some hoods.
They got hood, but at least it's quiet. Shit, I'll take that.
Even they gangsters is like,
Yo, fam, get over here, fam.
hey man.
Canadian gangster. Yep.
Get over here right
Canadian French gangster.
Drake.
Yeah.
That's the gangster of the Canada.
What if everybody talk like this?
And to finish up with car news, the last article, Buick is saying that they would buy out their dealers that don't want to sell electric cars, which is kind of funny. Because I mean, when you think about it, I mean, low key, like, who the fuck is buying Buicks in the first place like that?
They got electric Buicks?
Well, they're coming out with one.
Everybody got with some.
Alright.
It's called the Electra.
It's Electra.
Yeah, I mean,
Why they use that for a commercial?
And they said
We
that.
might use that,
I
right?
mean, yeah, I was about to say that. I was just about to say that.
She's like, when I'm tired of running on rooftops, I drive cars.
Yo, hell no, hell no, chill.
They wonder how I disappeared from the scene so fast.
Yo,
If she hops in the Buick and does a burnout, oh fucking.
and it's quiet as hell.
Oh, burn down the Buick.
Right.
Electric.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Shit sound like the remote control car.
But wait till they start getting them extra audio features to have no car sounding crazy.
Like the fucking Challenger.
Yo,
The Challenger.
that shit
Have it sound like a spaceship or
Niggas still
something.
saying that shit like sound like
No,
a
did you hear
Bose
that?
system or something.
Yeah,
Have it sound like a spaceship.
that junk sounded like a.
Like ready for takeoff. 5.
Yo, that video was crazy, bro. When they brought that shit out, the electric child, and I was like,
I dead ass thought somebody just went to YouTube and put a microphone up to it. Like,
yo, like that dude, he put in a CD and then hit play before he drove out the
they
drive.
put a system in the trunk.
He said, hit track one, hit track one.
Yo, he's stupid. No, hit track one. I am the tiger. And then he's like, oh no. But the Electra, that's gonna be their first electric, all electric Buick. They just gave little details about it. I mean, very little, I should say. They're just saying that, drop the name and stuff like that. Said that they're gonna have more info on it in 2023. It's gonna touch down in 2024, and it's gonna be a 2025 model. And they said that Buick is only gonna be selling EVs in 2030.
2030.
Yeah, and they're all and pretty much they're just gonna be an SUV brand, an electric SUV brand.
Might as well cut back all that other bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, like, real talk. Who the fuck is really be like, oh, yo, that Buick is nice. I gotta give you that.
You know what?
I give it for the commercial though.
Down south nigga.
Them shits.
Old school Buick, okay, but I know brand new fucking Buick. Get out of there.
I give it to the commercial. Is that a Buick? And then they had the.
Yeah, I remember.
That Buick LeSabre is actually kind of nice.
But that shit, it gives car manufacturers an opportunity to reinvent themselves. So if Buick does it right, I don't know what it looks like. Have you seen the Electra already? They have a picture of it?
Yeah, I think so.
Pull that bitch up, crunk.
Well, good was right. Shit, Taco Bell's gonna be the king of all fast food and restaurants.
Oh hell! Yo, that's a golf.
What
Yeah.
in the fuck?
Nah, that's definitely not it. Well, that's not what I'm. Buick Electra EV.
This is the first thing that just came up. But,
Yo,
I
son.
forgot to say Buick.
Three-wheel.
Yo.
I'm feeling disrespected for Buick.
Look
yo,
at my
dog.
boy.
Chill.
That shit's less than a smart car.
Dead ass.
My
Yeah.
boy in there, he don't even want to be in there.
That's
So
a
he like,
4-1.
He was like he killed the last person that was in there. He just on revenge.
Yo,
He's
he's
like,
stupid.
why did I pick this nigga to take his car? Let's
This
see.
shit look like
Buick
an old
Electra
car
EV.
in between two trucks, and they got two posts and shit.
Nice.
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Oh, hold up now.
That shit like
It's only because we saw such an ugly car before, but this one don't look bad.
I mean, that's like a concept.
I was about to say that's obviously they just mocking that up for right
Oh,
now.
so there's no actual concrete.
That's what I said. They're gonna drop more info next year.
Go to the next one that had that horse.
They just
that
saying
Mustang front.
they just saying, hey, we this is our EV pretty much.
the one right next, second top. Yeah,
That's the same one.
Same one.
that's the same one.
That is actually.
That's actually it. Yeah, that's actually it in the flesh. But highly doubt that's gonna be what's gonna be on
Tell
the
me that
road.
shit don't like it got a horse face.
Yo,
It do, but I'm not gonna lie, it look good. I'm not gonna lie. That don't look. Is that a Buick? That shit look good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's not gonna look. This
That shit
shit
drop top?
It doesn't even have a
Boy, it's
rear
all
view
right.
mirror.
Shut your ass up.
I mean, shit, can you roll down the whole glass?
Bruh, then you try and roll down your windows, your windscreen, everything go down.
Right.
The fuck?
That would be funny as hell.
People will lose so many eyes. I'll pick up some mountain bitches in that Buick.
I ain't gonna. Yeah. So like, electric cars, it's a chance for them to reinvent themselves. This one don't look that bad. You know, compared to what a Buick looks like now.
What does a Buick look like now?
Yeah, no cap. I'm about to look that shit up.
Only Buick that I give respect is a fucking Grand National X. You can get it any color you want as long as you want it black.
That like Knight
This
Rider.
man is definitely tough.
He is funny as hell.
Isn't that Knight Rider or whatever?
It look like
Nah.
Knight Rider low key.
That shit's a sleeper though.
No, the fuck it does not look like Knight Rider.
Oh.
Both of y'all can kiss my ass. That's disrespectful.
Shit, it look like one of them black movie cars.
Yeah, it look like a car from a hood movie.
Look like Ricky.
Yo.
Exactly. Any hood movie, any hood old school 90s, early 2000s, you will see a Buick Grand National.
I ain't gonna lie. This car ain't that
Throw
bad.
some spokes on that shit. Get some,
White walls.
get some hydraulics.
Drop that shit like 3 inches lower.
Put CTG on the side.
Oh, this guy. Hold on.
Camaro. And this.
Where's the bitches?
Hey yo, let me save this shit.
You gotta put a hashtag. Where's the bitches?
Hold on, I gotta save this. I gotta save the picture that we first pulled up when I typed in Electra. That nigga was in that whip like, God damn, get me out of here.
Yo, son.
That nigga looked like Hitman.
I told you. That nigga look like he killed the last person who owned that shit and now he driving it.
He dead ass do look like it.
Word, but yeah, go ahead.
Number 7.
Okay. And the vocab word is limited slip differential or LSD. A differential.
Drugs!
A differential fitted with a mechanism that limits the speed and torque differences between its two outputs. Limited slip ensures that some torque is always distributed to both wheels, even when one is on very slippery pavement. So pretty much,
That sounds like drugs.
bro. So pretty much that's especially in front wheel drive cars, that's definitely a saver. And handling wise, because it could keep you, especially when you're making turns, it could keep you more.
Hugging the road. As they
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So that Volkswagen had LSD?
I don't think so.
Alright, I was in the
No, I mean not really. I mean what? My RSX it has an open diff. But I mean,
Has a what?
Open diff.
Differential?
Yeah.
How did I know that? I don't know.
I don't know. That's what it was with the
He doesn't understand car talk, so when you
the video I sent to the chat when I was like, I felt bad for that tire.
Yeah.
When it was
yeah. Okay.
screaming?
Yes, that's an open diff. Perfect. That's an
When
open
it was
diff.
screaming.
That's an
I feel
open
that
diff.
way.
When one wheel's just sitting there and the other one just going on, it's got an open diff. If it had a limited slip, both of them would be gone.
So basically, all keeping the tires in check.
Loosely speaking, yes.
If you happen to be in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, or going through a corner or something like that.
Yeah, so you know if you want to hit that corner at 80,
don't.
how else you gonna test that new features in the car? Gotta see how good these tires are.
All or nothing.
You do better.
Speaking of which, we do gotta go to a car event where you can test drive the sports cars on the racetrack.
Yeah, you was talking to us about that.
We gotta do that shit.
And that's it for car news.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of CTG Podcast. We hope you was entertained. We got you some good gaming news. Talked about the PlayStation Nintendo event. We got some iPhone 14 news that just dropped. Let us know if you got that new iPhone 14.
Yeah, word. Let us know how it is. Is it worth it? Did you have a 13 before you got the 14? How dumb do you feel?
Is it worth the hype, or are you just a hype motherfucker? What you call him?
A hype beast?
A hype beast.
Man.
Then you have the car news, which B talked about. Denver and Detroit trying to expand their highways, make it more friendly. You have the Buick becoming all electric. And that Biden article.
No, the Toyota recall.
Oh, the Toyota recall. For the Tundra, Lexus, and NX350 and NX250.
2022.
2022. Just a 2022 model? Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. New.
Right, exactly. Like that's
No,
a
you
recent
just
fuck up.
bought it, but you know,
Yeah.
we got you. Let's
Niggas
get
be
it.
like, yo, we got a recall on the 1998. Like, nigga, everybody's
Hold on.
dead already. On that note, get whatever car you want. Just make sure that while you in the car,
You pick us
are-
up.
Yo.
or just be watching us on YouTube and listen to our podcast and subscribe, like, comment under the video. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I have been Cannon.
I'm Prince.
And B.
And send money to that Cash App.